I'm Leah Manns, and this is my father, Gordy Manns.
Hi, and I'm Gordy, and I wear Starkey hearing aids.
So when did your hearing loss first start?
Well, it started gradually at an early age. When I learned to fly small airplanes when I was in my 20s. And then those little planes are really loud, and I didn't wear hearing protection. And then I worked in the auto body industry for many, many years, and the racket gets pretty intense. In my 30s and 40s, I did a lot of hunting. And lots of shooting, I think, is what really kind of finished off my hearing and made it where it was getting to the point where it was noticeable, really noticeable.
Right.
So.
And how did you feel when you first started to notice your hearing loss?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. It comes on so gradually. There's not a real aha moment when it comes to that. You start hearing from other people saying, can you repeat that, or can you talk louder, or can you look at me so I can understand what you're saying?
I noticed your hearing loss in high school when my friends would come over and they would ask how my dad was doing by putting their fingers behind their ears because it would be amplified. It would amplify the sound of the TV. So we always noticed that you couldn't hear the TV when your ears are behind. So your hands were behind your ears.
So your friends were onto my hearing loss too then? Okay.
We were all onto your hearing loss. What challenges did your hearing loss cause?
Socially, when you're at parties and people are saying things to you and you don't understand what they're saying, so you kind of try to piece it together. And then when it comes to business, when I'm interacting with customers, it causes problems. But the one thing that the hearing aids have really helped me with is that when I'm trying to diagnose engine problems, you need to hear things. You need to hear those funny little noises that people are trying to describe to you. And if your hearing loss is bad, you have a hard time chasing down those problems.
What made you finally decide to get hearing aids?
Oh boy, prompting from my family. And I finally took the hint. Over and over again, people kept saying, you need hearing aids. And I'd say, no, I don't. I can hear just fine. I think that happens a lot with people.
I think you've become more confident. I think that you're able to go to parties and you can go to the neighbor's house with mom and you can feel part of the conversation. Whereas in the past, I feel like you kind of were on the side because you couldn't really hear in the loud environment that you were in. And so now you're able to really blend, and show your personality.
Well, your mom's really
being behind the scenes.
Your mom's really social, and I got to kind of tag along and be a part of all that. So it did help a lot.
Good.
A lot.
So now that you've had hearing aids, what changes have you noticed?
Well, I'm more efficient when it comes to diagnosing engine problems, and then my social life is better. At church or in my small group with the guys that I meet with every week, it seems like they don't talk very loud. It's like they're always mumbling. And if I forget my hearing aids, I can't hear a word they say. So if you have a friend whose dad had profound hearing loss, what sort of suggestion would you make to your friend?
I think instead of me talking about it behind your back or with mom or whatever, saying dad needs a hearing aid, I think I'd probably want to tell them to talk to their dad about getting hearing aids, or tell them how it's affecting their life and say, Dad, I really wish that you could hear me, or I really wish that we could have easier conversations. Maybe you should get your hearing checked. And maybe it wouldn't be such a tough conversation.
Yeah, from your perspective, you could actually say that because you've been through it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I have.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.